Now in the perineum, after we have discussed the anal region, we have the urogenital region which is left. I told you that in this diamond-shaped area of the perineal body is the central part which is dividing the perineum into two parts. The upper one part is known as the urogenital part and the lower part is known as the anal part. So urogenital part have two openings in females and one opening in males. One opening of in males will be the urethral opening, and in females that will be one urethral opening and one will be the vaginal opening. While in the anal region, in both males and females, there is only one opening, that is the opening of anus. So now we have to emphasize on the urogenital region. You can see it's a triangular area lying above the perineal body and bounded by so many muscles. And muscles are the superficial transverse perineal muscle, and then we have the deep transverse perineal muscles, and then the one lying close to the labia is the bulbospongiosus, and the outer one is known as the ischiocavernosus. So four important muscles are bulbospongiosus, ischiocavernosus, deep transverse perineal muscle, and superficial transverse perineal muscle. And superficial transverse perineal muscle have this perineal membrane on the sides. So urogenital region is been divided into two spaces. One is known as superficial perineal space and one is the deep perineal space. Superficial perineal space lies above the perineal membrane, and the deep perineal space will lie below the perineal membrane. First we can see the cutaneous innervation of the urogenital region, and then we can discuss the details of the superficial and deep perineal spaces. So here the cutaneous innervation of the urogenital region that comes from the first will be the dorsal nerve. If it's the male, then that will be the dorsal nerve of the penis, and if it is female, then it will be the dorsal nerve of the clitoris. Then we discuss in the D-abdominal wall that there were the contents of the spermatic cord, and the contents of spermatic cord were ilioinguinal nerve and genital branch of genitofemoral nerve. So these both ilioinguinal and genital branch of genitofemoral nerve cutaneously innervate the urogenital region. Then one branch is perineal branch, which comes from the posterior cutaneous nerve. Then posterior scrotal nerve will supply in the males, and posterior labial nerve will supply in the females. And then more perineal branch will come from the podental nerve. So there are two perineal branches. One is coming from the posterior cutaneous nerve and one perineal branch is coming from the podental nerve. And then we have the posterior scrotal in males and posterior labial in females. Right now, after the cutaneous innervation, that is just you have to cram it up, we have the superficial and deep perineal spaces. For the superficial perineal spaces, you need to know what it is. This is a superficial space of the urogenital region that lies superficial to the perineal membrane. So as I told you, that is the perineal membrane, and it's lying above the that perineal membrane, and that's why that is known as superficial perineal space. So superficial perineal space, I have to recall some things. When we discuss anteabdominal wall, we discussed that in anteabdominal wall there are two fascias. One is known as campus fascia, and one was the scarpus fascia. And then we discussed that the deep fascia of the anteabdominal wall descends downwards and come into the perineum, and there is fascia of the perineum that is known as Colles fascia, and that merges with the Colli fascia. So that Colles fascia is the fascia which is giving adherence to the perineum. So superficially, as it is lying superficially to the perineal membrane. So perineal membrane will be the deep relation of the superficial perineal space on both sides, while Colles fascia, the fascia will come upward above the space, and that will cover the space, and that's why that is a superficial relation of the superficial perineal space. Deep lying the perineal membrane, as we told, and then on each side, you can see on each side we have the ischiopubic rami that will cover the space. Then posteriorly, that space will be open and continuous with the space of the scrotum or the clitoris. Here is the clitoris, and same is in the males, that is going to be the scrotum. So that superficial perineal space will continue above with the reproductive organs, either with the labium with the clitoris in females and scrotum in males. Then comes what are the contents of the superficial perineal space. So in males, the contents would be the root of the penis and the corpus cavernosum and spongiosum. These both muscles we discussed here, that one was the cavernosum, and then we had the spongiosum, and then that was the bulbo part. So cavernosum and spongiosum will be the content of this superficial perineal space. And then we will have the ischiocavernosus, bulbospongiosis, and superficial transverse perineal muscles. And in female, what is going to be the different things? Like here is the root of the penis, so females will have the body of clitoris, and there will be only corpus cavernosum part, not the spongiosum part. Other than that, ischiocavernosus, bulbospongiosis, and superficial transverse perineal muscles, the parts are superficial perineal space. You can also see here, this is a superficial perineal muscle, that is the ischiocavernosus, and that is the bulbospongiosis. So these three muscles are the content of the superficial perineal space that is lying above the perineal membrane.